Alright, let's dive into something that's both mind-bending and potentially game-changing. Imagine sending entangled photons, yes, those spooky action at a distance particles, through the same fiber optic cables that bring you cat videos and Zoom calls. Sounds like sci-fi, right? Well, researchers at NIST just made it a reality. And personally, I think this is one of those breakthroughs that doesn't get enough hype. Here's why it's a big deal. First, their hook. These scientists didn't just send entangled photons through a pristine, controlled lab setup. No, they used existing above-ground fiber networks, the kind that sway in the wind, expand in the heat, and get pecked by birds. It's like trying to balance a pencil on its tip during an earthquake. What makes this really interesting is that they managed to keep these fragile quantum states intact for 92.8% of a 24-hour test. That's not just impressive, it's a proof of concept that quantum networks could actually work in the real world. Now, let's break this down. Entanglement is weird. Like, really weird. Two particles can be so deeply connected that measuring one instantly affects the other, no matter how far apart they are. Einstein called it spooky, and honestly, that's still the best way to describe it. But what many people don't realize is that this isn't just a physics curiosity, it's the backbone of future technologies. Quantum networks could revolutionize everything from secure communication to drug discovery. Imagine telescopes working together to create images sharper than anything we've ever seen, or sensors predicting earthquakes with pinpoint accuracy. That's the potential here. But here's the kicker, building a quantum network isn't just about sending these particles. It's about keeping them entangled while they travel through noisy, unpredictable environments. And that's where this experiment shines. The team used a real-time polarization stabilization system developed by Connect, which essentially corrects the distortions caused by the fiber. Think of it as a quantum GPS, constantly adjusting to keep the photons on track. In my opinion, this is the unsung hero of the story. It's not just about sending the photons, it's about making sure they arrive as they left. One thing that immediately stands out is the scale of this experiment. 62 kilometers of above-ground fiber? That's not a lab demo, that's a real-world test. And while it's not the longest distance ever achieved, a European team did 248 kilometers underground in 2022, it's arguably more significant. Underground fibers are shielded from temperature changes and physical disturbances. Above-ground fibers? Not so much. This experiment is like taking a sports car off-road and proving it can still perform. If you take a step back and think about it, this is a stress test for the future of quantum networking. Now, let's talk about the numbers. 1,500 entangled photons per second might not sound like much, but it's a respectable rate for this kind of experiment. What this really suggests is that we're not just talking about theoretical possibilities anymore. We're talking about practical, scalable systems. Sure, we'll need higher rates for real-world applications, but this is a huge step in the right direction. What many people don't realize is that quantum networking isn't just about speed, it's about reliability. A 92.8% uptime in such a noisy environment. That's a massive achievement. From my perspective, the broader implication here is that we might not need to build entirely new infrastructure for quantum networks. If we can use existing fiber networks, the cost and time to deploy these systems could drop dramatically. This raises a deeper question: could quantum networks become as ubiquitous as the internet? Personally, I think that's not just possible, it's inevitable. And this experiment is a huge leap toward making that happen. So, what's the takeaway? This isn't just another lab experiment. It's a demonstration that quantum networking can survive the chaos of the real world. A detail I find fascinating is how this connects to the bigger picture of quantum computing and secure communication. If we can reliably transmit entangled photons, we're not just talking about faster computers, we're talking about unhackable networks and scientific breakthroughs that could reshape entire industries. Closing thought, this experiment is a reminder that the future isn't just about inventing new technologies, it's about making them work in the messy, unpredictable world we live in. And if this is any indication, the quantum future might be closer than we think. What do you think? Are we on the brink of a quantum revolution, or is this just another step in a long journey? Let me know in the comments below.